team of legislators again this year. We actually have the honor of being the only subcommittee in the Environment and Transportation Committee to be graced with the presence of all three committee counsel. So Ben, who is here, handles the housing issues. Kristen handles both the ethics issues and I think some land use stuff as well. And Patrick handles mostly the transportation related issues and the pedestrian related issues that the subcommittee also gets. So depending on the bills that we'll be taking up, we'll see all of them at various times this year. The purpose of this meeting is to very briefly go through the ground rules of the subcommittee so that when we start actually getting bills and actually meeting in earnest, that everyone kind of understands how we're going to proceed this session. It's going to be very similar to last session. So first, we're not going to have any bill sponsors again this session. This is a meeting of just the members of the subcommittee, and it's an opportunity for us to vet legislation, and bill sponsors will not be invited. Second, we will invite advocates. I will invite advocates. Please let my office, my chief of staff's name is Colleen Herman. Please let us know if you would like an advocate invited on any bills that we're going to be discussing. But I want to be clear that it's just a meeting of subcommittee members. Advocates can be called on by me, the chair, to provide context or information, but we're not going to relitigate hearings. There's not going to be a debating society between people who oppose and support a bill. And so we're going to be calling on advocates only judiciously and inviting them judiciously. If someone wants to just watch us, but they don't have any actual input to provide, we're going to send them the YouTube link only when we think that an advocate can be helpful in us understanding the bill, or more often understanding amendments, will they be invited and allowed to speak. Also try to be here on time. I think it's especially important for this. It's especially difficult for this subcommittee given the noon time slot that we have on Tuesdays, because unlike, if it's after bill hearings, it's easy just to kind of drop by. This is going to be tough. And so it's really important for us to try to be on time as much as possible, because we're all going to be trying to eat lunch before bill hearings start at 1. And so we're going to try to keep this meeting under an hour so that we all have time to get a little sustenance before the 1 o'clock hearings. As y'all know, once session heats up, our floor sessions are going to go well into the 11 o'clock hour. Sometimes we're going to have to meet maybe very, very briefly between the floor and the committee hearings. So just be on the lookout for floor announcements once things start to really heat up about when we'll be meeting. We're probably going to have our first bills next week, Tuesday, February 13th. It'll probably just be 1 or 2. As y'all know, we don't have the biggest bill load of any subcommittee. And so that does make it easier for us to get our work done. We'll probably start next week. It'll probably just be 1 or 2 bills, and we'll probably be meeting weekly from then on. And then finally, try to be on camera as much as you can. Obviously, if you have to sort of turn it off briefly to talk to someone or someone comes into your office, we get that. But generally, try to be on camera during the meetings. And then finally, if you have any questions or concerns, or you want to talk about a bill that's either your bill coming to our subcommittee, someone else's bill coming to our subcommittee that you love or you hate, always reach out to me. My office number is 151. We're conveniently located basically by the exit of the side exit of the house. So you're always welcome to swing by if you have any issues, just address those with me. And so with that, I just want to open the floor. If you guys have any questions, concerns, thoughts about the subcommittee's work this year, now is your first of many opportunities. Great. Well, seeing none, I clearly addressed everything beautifully, as I always do. I appreciate you all. We're going to have another great year in the greatest subcommittee, in the greatest committee in the history of the world. And I appreciate you all being part of it. And I'll see you next week. I'll see you at 1, and then I'll also see you next week.
Mr. Chair, I have a very quick question.
Yeah, of course, Delegate Lane.
Yes. How do you have any idea yet how many bills, like right now, do we have any bills coming our way, or what are you expecting?
Yeah, we do. So I have a list of the bills that are assigned to our subcommittee. If you're curious about that, or if you're wondering if any particular bill is coming.
No, you're breaking up a little bit, so I'm not really sure what you're saying.
Yeah, or let me know, and I sign. Okay,
Mr. Chair.
Can you hear me now? Yeah, so I do have a list of the bills that have been assigned to our subcommittee.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So just ask me if you have a question about a bill and where it's assigned, and I can let you know. We probably, so far of the bills that we've heard, we have about 5 or 6 bills that we've heard that are assigned to subcommittee. And this week we'll hear probably another 5 or 6 that are assigned to our subcommittee. So by the end of the week, by next week's meeting, we'll probably have about a dozen bills. We obviously won't take all of them up. Some of them are administration bills. But if you have a question, because our subcommittee's jurisdiction is a little murky, we get some of the transportation bills, we get some of the housing bills.
Mhm.
It's a little bit hard to predict when bills are going to come to our subcommittee. And so if you have any questions about that, just reach out to me.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Anybody else?